Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. Bro, he got hit with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places. Don't do this very long, because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it.
Jake Paul's boxing run just hit a wall, and there's no coming back from this one. The damage is done, and his career is officially over.
All it takes is one punch to completely ruin your life.
December 19th, 2025 at the Kaseya Center in Miami changed everything. Netflix streamed what was supposed to be legitimate heavyweight boxing with real stakes and genuine consequences. The marketing promised authenticity, and boy did it deliver. When Anthony Joshua systematically dismantled him and shattered his jaw in multiple places, retirement went from internet chatter to medical necessity.
Ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it, and that he could do well for a little bit. Yeah, and then eventually just deal with the fact that Anthony Joshua is going to connect with a bomb.
4 separate knockdowns tell the whole story here. Anthony Joshua put him on the canvas twice during round 5, then dropped him 2 more times in the 6th. This wasn't some fluke moment or random lucky punch. This was methodical destruction happening in real time. This was watching someone get picked apart piece by piece until the referee couldn't let it continue. When you can't defend yourself anymore, the retirement conversation stops being theoretical.
Style that would align with a ring that size, a negative style, as we mentioned. It really comes down to the fan interest. Jake Paul is on a 2-fight stretch coming into this one, which really put his reputation on the line.
The injury that sealed his fate came next. Medical confirmation of a double jaw fracture with breaks on both sides. Straight to the hospital he went. No media obligations because forming words was physically impossible. Emergency surgery became the priority. Liquid nutrition replaced solid food. Metal wires held everything together. Once you reach that point, stepping away isn't about ego or reputation anymore. The human body makes the choice for you.
28 years old, 29 next month. Don't do this very long, because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it. It's not worth it. And that price is depression, deep depression, a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction.
His pre-fight confidence vanished completely. Before the opening bell, he projected dominance and superiority. After the final bell, he was calculating healing time and learning to consume nutrition through a straw. Marketing can't repair structural bone damage. Promotional hype can't reverse medical reality. This is the exact moment when retirement becomes inevitable rather than optional.
300 million plus in his boxing career. How old is Jake Paul?
29 and
look at that. So he's 28 years old, 29 next month.
The aftermath spoke volumes about what really happened that night. He left that ring unable to communicate, unable to consume normal food, and unable to pretend the damage wasn't severe. Professional boxing forced an honest answer that no amount of promotion could spin or reverse.
It leads so many people to impulsive behavior. So many people become gambling addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics after their fighting career. You could only take so much.
Boxing insiders jumped on the truth immediately. Former world champions and veteran analysts didn't sugarcoat anything. They labeled it a complete mismatch. They said he got thoroughly exposed. Multiple voices declared his fighting days finished. The response wasn't emotional or personal. It was the sport finally speaking honestly after years of diplomatic restraint.
Just everything that's happened in my life, like I was taking L's after L, and I just mean that in that sense. I don't mean it just by like success.
Duke McKenzie broke down the technical failures with surgical precision, wild lunging punches that threw off his balance completely, constant stumbling over his own footwork, reaching upward desperately because he couldn't physically reach Joshua's chin cleanly. Every fundamental weakness that got hidden against weaker or aging opponents got exposed simultaneously under bright lights.
Jake Paul tried to throw a shot, he would lunge in, jump in, and because he was so short, he'd miss. And then he ended up stumbling over his feet and falling over. Sometimes in that fight, it reminded me of, have you seen that Kung Fu film called The Drunken Master?
Michael Bisping highlighted Joshua's calculated approach throughout. No reckless aggression or desperate rushing needed. Pure power combined with tactical patience got the job done efficiently. Not once did Jake create any genuine concern or trouble. Joshua never wobbled or showed panic. No moments where the game plan required adjustment. The skill gap remained crystal clear from round 1, straight through to the stoppage.
You know, when you're young, you think that you could live forever and you think that you're invincible until something happens. We also happened to Muhammad Ali. So there's a deeper story here, is that life's a marathon, not a sprint. So whether it's fighting, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's money, you're going to be 30, you're going to be 40, you're going to be 50, and PBD, you snap your fingers, boom. Just like that, you're going to be 60.
The statistical breakdown painted an even uglier picture because numbers eliminate all subjectivity. Joshua connected on 48 clean shots while Jake managed only 16 successful punches. Those aren't competitive boxing statistics. Those are basic survival mathematics playing out in real time. Joshua never needed risky exchanges or desperate gambles. He waited for openings, made accurate adjustments, and watched the inevitable collapse unfold exactly as predicted.
And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, ooh, you know, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punches that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 punches.
Everything shifted at that moment. This stopped being about athletic ability or boxing talent. The only remaining question became how much punishment he could absorb before his body completely shut down. Win-loss records became irrelevant. The conversation moved to whether he ever deserved to share that ring space in the first place.
He weighed 216, but he's doesn't even have abs, right? At 216, he could easily weigh 190.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic. So big. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So of course, like,
the strategy revealed everything before the knockout punch ever connected. Oversized 22-foot ring dimensions created maximum escape room. Constant backward movement replaced any forward aggression. Straight line retreating instead of proper lateral boxing footwork. This wasn't ring generalship or tactical control. This was organized evacuation with boxing gloves attached. Clinching became his primary defensive weapon. Wrestling techniques invaded what should have been pure boxing, leaning, grabbing, and collapsing into the referee for protection. Expert analysts didn't praise clever tactics. They recognized desperate survival instincts. You clinch when you're completely outclassed and buying precious seconds, not when you're executing confident strategy.
if he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Zero attempt at winning individual rounds emerged during the entire contest. No sustained offensive combinations materialized. No sustained pressure sequences developed at any point. One single objective drove every decision: minimize incoming damage, extend the fight duration, create respectable optics. The visual storytelling was devastating. A heavyweight championship bout reduced to elaborate defensive theater. Television commentators openly ridiculed what they witnessed because avoiding the obvious became impossible. This was someone running toward respectability rather than chasing victory. Expert consensus formed quickly and remained unchanged. This confirmed that everyone already suspected deep down. Jake understood he couldn't win this fight. His goal was endurance, paycheck collection, and escape with minimal damage. Eventually, even that limited strategy failed completely.
There's a clip of you on the ground after hitting you say, wow.
Can someone start posting content?
Joe Rogan delivered the blunt truth that everyone else was dancing around diplomatically. He labeled it a devastating reality check and urged immediate retirement, not eventually or after one final payday opportunity, right now without delay. Rogan wasn't responding as a casual hater or internet analyst. He was speaking as someone who has witnessed fighters paying severe prices for accumulated damage decades after their careers ended.
They put your teeth back in when they pop out like that, or are they gone forever?
I don't know. But it's just wired shut for like 6 weeks now.
He discussed liquid protein shake nutrition like it represented something much darker, because it absolutely does. Cumulative brain trauma operates like a countdown timer that never stops. Each concussion creates permanent additions to the total. Every significant impact subtracts something that never returns or regenerates. That shot from Anthony Joshua wasn't just another mark on some official scorecard. Rogan characterized it as equivalent to multiple concussions delivered in one devastating moment, a single impact that consumes years of neurological tolerance instantly.
is that 96 million or whatever worth you having brain damage for the rest of your life? And this is the thing, that this is, to me, besides the Tyson Fury's brother, this is, you're going up against a real fighter. This guy, if that boxer punches you in the face in the street, that's assault with a deadly weapon. He's a trained...
The bilateral jaw fracture became the perfect symbol everyone needed to abandon the pretending. Medical professionals and boxing analysts clarified this extended far beyond simple facial trauma. When jaw bones fracture on both sides simultaneously, that massive force doesn't politely stop at bone level. It transfers directly inward toward brain tissue. Head trauma rarely announces itself with immediate obvious headline. It manifests later as memory deterioration, emotional instability, clinical depression, and impulse control disorders. Rogan spoke candidly about fighters descending into serious addiction problems after careers filled with impacts exactly like that name: gambling dependencies, substance abuse, alcoholism. He emphasized that no financial compensation justifies that inevitable cost.
In his lower jaw.
Oh, you can show. Look,
Here, look.
Science.
So science is right there and there.
Psychological professionals and body language specialists pushed the analysis even deeper into uncomfortable territory. They dissected Jake's final moments inside that ring frame by frame. The facial expressions, physical posture, and obvious hesitation pattern. They identified genuine fear, complete exhaustion, and total helplessness. Not manufactured drama fear, designed for social media. Real biological threat detection occurring in real time. The type where your body recognizes mortal danger before conscious thought processes catch up. They described how trapped and cornered he appeared throughout. How his movement patterns stopped being strategic choices and became pure instinctual responses. Strategy had completely disappeared. Survival panic had taken complete control.
But whatever it is, it's not
enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Because in so many of his fights, like the Nate Diaz fight, he gets tired in the later rounds. In the beginning, look.
Throughout all the expert analysis, the same central point kept resurfacing repeatedly. Financial compensation cannot reverse brain damage. Surgical jaw repair doesn't protect long-term memory function. Large paychecks cannot rebuild destroyed neuron. Rogan voiced what everyone was thinking but avoiding. This represents exactly how careers end catastrophically when people refuse to acknowledge obvious reality. While medical experts focused on health implications, social media went absolutely wild. The overall tone shifted dramatically overnight. Initial disbelief transformed into outright celebration. Stunned relief evolved into merciless ridicule. Memes flooded every timeline imaginable while video clips replayed endlessly. People weren't simply reacting to another sporting law, they were responding to years of aggressive marketing, finally colliding with basic physics.
Like, that's a killer. This is a weapon. So is it worth the money? I don't think any money is worth that. The brain, like we talked about this when I first came to VT.
Jake Paul, the legitimate boxer, completely disappeared. Jake Paul, the entertainment promoter, moved to center stage immediately. Pure salesman, calculated showman, viral content creation machine, industry analyst, acknowledged he promotes spectacle more effectively than he demonstrates skill. That might have remained survivable if he had simply accepted that role completely. What made the situation unbearable was continuing to pretend spectacle equaled legitimate victory. The puncher's chance argument got demolished publicly by every expert voice. Analysts labeled it complete fantasy thinking. You don't get puncher's chance opportunities against Olympic heavyweight champions who know exactly what's coming next. That logic might work in neighborhood bar fights and backyard mythology, but not in professional championship ring. When facing someone like Anthony Joshua, superior size, perfect timing, and vast experience eliminate fairy tale endings very quickly.
Less than a decade, he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
While retirement speculation gained momentum everywhere, Jake's own public messaging made everything significantly worse. One day he joked about fighting again within weeks. The next day he posted medical updates from his hospital bed, liquid nutrition requirements, chronic stiffness, constant pain, completely wired jaw structure. The contradiction became impossible to ignore. You cannot sell invincibility while publicly documenting recovery timelines. Industry analysts began predicting what everyone already understood intuitively. This isn't a brief hiatus or temporary break. This represents a lengthy pause at minimum and quiet permanent retirement at maximum. The injury severity alone demands extensive healing time. The complete lack of viable future opponents demands even more time. No clear pathway back to legitimate credibility exists after this type of loss, combined with this severity of documented damage. Behind closed doors, business conversations turn much colder quickly. Corporate sponsors evaluate risk factors carefully. Streaming platforms examine liability concerns thoroughly. Television broadcasters study medical documentation instead of pay-per-view revenue projections. The entertainment value disappears when your product starts appearing fragile and unpredictable in all the wrong ways.